Echoes in the abyss. The mountain observatory creaked under the assault of wind and rain as Dr. Amelia Chen adjusted her telescope for the fifth time that night. The storm had appeared without warning, but she refused to abandon her observation of the meteor shower. "Just my luck," she muttered, pushing a strand of dark hair from her face. The data on her monitors made no sense. Radiation spikes, energy fluctuations, atmospheric distortions, none of which aligned with any known celestial phenomenon. Her colleagues had departed hours ago, leaving her alone with the howling wind and increasingly bizarre readings. "This can't be right," she whispered, squinting at the screen where patterns pulsed in configurations that defied explanation. Something was happening in the atmosphere above the mountain, something that existed at the intersection of theoretical physics and impossibility. The lights flickered once, twice, then plunged the observatory into darkness. Only her emergency equipment continued running on backup power, casting an eerie blue glow across the curved walls. Then she heard it, a sound like reality tearing, a distant crack that seemed to split the air itself. Amelia grabbed her raincoat and flashlight, driven by scientific curiosity stronger than fear. Outside, the rain fell in sheets, nearly horizontal in the wind. She aimed her light toward the source of the disturbance and froze. A figure stumbled through the pines, a man whose silhouette seemed to shimmer against the darkness. Behind him, the air itself appeared distorted, warping like heat waves on summer pavement. He collapsed to his knees just as lightning illuminated the scene. "Hey!" she called, running toward him. "Are you hurt?" When she reached him, her breath caught in her throat. His skin glowed faintly with an inner light that pulsed beneath the surface, veins tracing patterns of soft purple luminescence across his arms and neck. His eyes, when they opened, contained swirling depths that reflected no natural light. "Please," he gasped, reaching for her, "help me." Against all logic, all scientific training, she helped him to his feet, supporting his weight as they struggled toward the observatory. His skin burned with fever, yet felt electric against hers, sending unfamiliar sensations through her body. His breathing came in ragged gasps, each exhalation releasing wisps of violet light. "What's your name?" she asked, once they were inside her small, attached living quarters. "Kai," he whispered, his voice carrying strange harmonics. "I think it's Kai." "You think?" "I don't remember how I got here." He shivered violently. "Everything before the storm is fragments." Amelia wrapped him in blankets, brought him tea, watched in fascination as the liquid glowed briefly when he drank it. Science demanded she call authorities, report this impossible man. Yet something in his vulnerable gaze stopped her. "The readings," she murmured, suddenly connecting the anomalies with his appearance. "You're the source." His eyes met hers, filled with confusion and something else, a haunted knowledge he couldn't articulate. "Something's inside me," he said, "something burning." Thunder crashed outside, rattling the windows. As if responding, the glow beneath his skin intensified briefly before subsiding. Amelia's scientific mind raced with questions, theories, possibilities. Yet when his trembling hand found hers, all thought scattered, replaced by an inexplicable certainty that their meeting was no accident. "I'll help you," she promised, without understanding why. That night, as Kai finally slept, Amelia watched purple light pulse gently beneath his skin. Her monitors continued recording impossible data. She should be afraid, yet instead she felt something awakening within her, something that had slumbered through years of isolation and scientific pursuit. Outside, the storm intensified, but within the observatory, a different kind of storm was brewing, one that existed between reason and instinct, science, and mystery. A connection forming between two souls, one human, one something else entirely. As dawn approached, Amelia realized with perfect clarity that nothing in her life would ever be the same again. Beneath the fractured sky. Morning arrived with unsettling clarity. The storm vanished as suddenly as it had appeared. Sunlight streamed through the observatory windows, illuminating Kai, who stood examining the star charts on Amelia's wall. His movements were fluid, almost hypnotic, and the purple luminescence beneath his skin had faded to a faint glow, visible only when shadows fell across him. "These constellations," he said without turning, "they're familiar yet wrong somehow, like looking at a reflection in broken glass." Amelia approached cautiously, still processing the impossibility of his existence. "How are you feeling?" "Stronger." He turned and the sunlight caught his eyes, revealing depths that shifted like nebulae, but unstable. When he extended his hand, she hesitated before taking it. An electric current passed between them, making her gasp. The monitors nearby spiked wildly, their screens flashing with data clusters that resembled neural patterns. "Did you feel that?" she whispered. Kai nodded, his expression a mixture of wonder and concern. "It happens when we touch. The energy inside me, it responds to you." Their conversation was interrupted by the sound of a vehicle approaching. Amelia peered through the blinds, her heart sinking at the sight of a black SUV winding up the mountain road. "We need to move," she said, gathering her tablet and a small bag of emergency supplies. "Someone's coming, and I doubt they're here for the view." "Who?" "I don't know, but the energy signature you're emitting, it must have been detected." They slipped out through the maintenance exit just as two men in dark suits emerged from the vehicle. Amelia led Kai down a hiking trail that wound through dense forest, her mind racing. Through breaks in the trees, she could see additional vehicles approaching from the main road. "There's a research cabin 2 miles down," she explained as they moved. "We can hide there while I figure this out." The cabin was small, rustic, barely more than a shed with basic equipment, but it was off-grid with no electronic signature to track. Amelia locked the door behind them, then pulled the shades. "We should be safe here for now." She turned to find Kai standing uncomfortably close, his presence making the small space feel charged with electricity. "I need to understand what's happening to you." "I keep seeing flashes," he said, his voice strained. "Another place, another sky, filled with colors your world doesn't have. A catastrophe, some kind of collapse." Amelia connected her tablet to a portable scanner and motioned for him to sit. "May I?" When the scanner passed over him, the readings defied explanation. His cellular structure appeared to be in flux, constantly reorganizing around a core of energy that shouldn't exist in any stable matter. "You're not human," she breathed, the words both a question and a statement. "No," he agreed simply, "not like you." Their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them. The scanner beeped wildly as the purple glow beneath his skin intensified. "The energy," she said, watching the readings, "it responds to emotion." Before he could answer, her tablet chimed with an encrypted message. Her stomach dropped when she saw the sender, Dr. Sarah Ishikawa, her former research partner. "They know about us," she said, showing him the message. "Sarah works for a government division now. She says they've been monitoring unusual energy signatures. They call it Project Stardust." "What do they want?" "You, or rather what's inside you." Amelia's voice dropped. That night, as darkness fell, they sat side by side on the cabin's small bed. The proximity was necessary, she told herself as she continued running scans, but the electricity between them had nothing to do with science. "I remember fragments now," Kai whispered. "My world was dying. The energy was meant to save us. A bridge between dimensions, but something went wrong." His hand found hers in the darkness, and this time she didn't pull away. The scanner readings spiked dramatically as their fingers intertwined. "Your presence stabilizes it," he said, his voice dropping to a whisper.
When you're near, the burning subsides. Their eyes met in the dim light of the cabin. Logic told Amelia to maintain distance, to approach this scientifically. But something deeper, more primal, drew her toward him. She leaned in, drawn by forces that transcended reason. The kiss, when it came, felt like touching a live wire, every nerve ending ignited with sensation. The glow beneath his skin pulsed brighter, casting purple shadows across the walls. As their embrace deepened, the equipment around them began to malfunction, screens flickering, lights surging. Outside, unseen in the darkness, Agent Cooper stepped from his vehicle and gazed up at the faint purple light emanating from the cabin windows. He spoke quietly into his radio. "Target located. Begin containment protocol." Inside, oblivious to the approaching danger, Amelia and Kai surrendered to a connection that defied explanation, their worlds colliding in ways neither of them understood. The universe seemed to hold its breath as two beings from different dimensions discovered that some forces transcend the boundaries between worlds.
Whispers between stars. Dawn broke with urgent knocking that jolted Amelia from sleep. Sarah Ishikawa stood at the door, her normally composed face tight with worry. "You need to move," she hissed, stepping inside. "Cooper knows you're here. He's mobilizing a team with military-grade containment equipment. They'll be here within the hour." Kai emerged from the back room, his presence causing Sarah to step back involuntarily. The purple luminescence beneath his skin pulsed visibly, even in daylight. "My God," Sarah whispered. "The readings don't do it justice." "Sarah, this is Kai," Amelia said, positioning herself protectively between them. "And he's not a lab specimen." Sarah's scientific curiosity battled visibly with compassion. "What is he?" "I'm a transmitter," Kai said, his voice resonating with strange harmonics. "The last of my kind after the collapse." "Collapse?" "His dimension is dying," Amelia explained quickly. "The energy signature we detected, it's actually a form of dimensional energy. He was sent through during my meteor shower observation. Something about the atmospheric conditions created a temporary bridge." Sarah's eyes widened. "That's why Cooper is so determined. The energy readings suggest potential weapons applications." "It's not a weapon," Kai's voice hardened. "It's life. The essence of my world compressed into a singular form, our last hope for preservation." Outside, a distant sound of helicopters pushed urgency into their conversation. "My car is hidden half a mile down." Sarah pressed a key and a folded map into Amelia's hand. "There's a research facility marked on this map. It's abandoned, but the equipment might help you stabilize his energy signature." As they gathered essentials, Amelia noticed Kai struggling. His movements had become jerky, uncoordinated, and the glow beneath his skin flickered erratically. "It's getting worse," he admitted when she questioned him. "Your world, the gravity, the atmospheric composition, they're incompatible with the energy I carry. Our connection intensifies it." "Connection?" His eyes met hers, swirling with cosmic light. "Emotional resonance amplifies dimensional energy. That's why my people were always taught to remain detached. Yet with you..." The unspoken hung between them, charged with possibilities, both wonderful and terrifying. Sarah cleared her throat, breaking the moment. "We need to move now." They slipped through the forest, using animal trails to avoid detection. The sound of helicopters grew louder. Sarah departed at the car with a final warning. "Cooper won't stop. He believes what Kai carries could revolutionize energy production, weapons technology, everything. Be careful, Amelia. This is bigger than either of you." As they drove through mountain roads, Amelia's scientific mind raced through possibilities. She glanced at Kai, who sat with eyes closed, purple energy visibly surging beneath his skin. "Tell me about your world," she said, partly from curiosity, partly to keep him focused. "It exists between what you would call dimensions," he replied, his voice distant. a place where energy and matter interchange freely. We built civilizations on floating islands of crystallized thought. Our skies contained galaxies you cannot see. And the collapse? Pain crossed his features. We drew too much power from the dimensional barriers. Our scientists believed they could harness infinite energy. Instead, they created instabilities. Rifts began forming, consuming entire regions. His hand found hers on the gear shift. The touch sent electricity through her body. I volunteered to carry our essence, our collective knowledge, history, DNA, everything compressed into energy. The plan was to find a compatible dimension, rebuild. But your world, he gestured at the sky, it's too solid, too fixed. The energy cannot take root here. It's consuming me instead. Amelia tightened her grip on his hand. We'll find a way. They drove in silence for several miles, the connection between them deepening with every passing moment. When Kai spoke again, his voice carried a vulnerability that transcended his alien nature. In my world, we believe consciousness transcends physical form, that energy patterns, rather than bodies, contain our true essence. Like souls. Similar, he agreed. When two energy patterns achieve resonance, they can merge, becoming something greater than their parts. Last night, with you, I felt the beginning of such resonance. The implications sent shivers through Amelia. What began as scientific curiosity had evolved into something far more profound. The mysterious pull she felt toward him defied rational explanation, yet it felt more real than anything she had experienced. As sunset painted the sky, they arrived at the abandoned facility. A concrete bunker nestled against the mountainside, its entrance overgrown with vegetation. Inside, dust-covered equipment waited silently, preserved by the dry mountain air. This might work, Amelia said, examining the generators and specialized scanning equipment. If I can map the energy signature, maybe we can find a way to stabilize it. That night, as equipment hummed around them, they faced the truth revealed by initial scans. The energy was growing exponentially, becoming more unstable with each passing hour. I'm burning from within, he whispered, as they stood beneath the facility's glass ceiling, starlight filtering down between them. Amelia stepped closer, refusing to accept defeat. Then we'll find a way to release it safely. Their bodies met in the starlight, need and desperation driving them together. The purple glow intensified with every touch, equipment readings spiking wildly around them. As boundaries dissolved between scientist and cosmic refugee, between two worlds, between possibility and destruction, neither noticed the approaching lights of Cooper's convoy winding up the mountain road. The stars alone witnessed their union, as two souls from different dimensions found brief, impossible harmony against the coming storm. The crimson tide. Red emergency lights bathed the facility as alarms blared through the speakers. Amelia frantically gathered research data while Kai stood by the window, his body now pulsing with intense purple energy that cast eerie shadows across the room. "They've surrounded us," he said, his voice distorting with harmonic overtones. "Cooper's team, 12 vehicles, military-grade containment equipment." Amelia's phone buzzed with Sarah's warning. "They're using experimental tech designed to extract and contain the energy. No regard for the host." Fear clutched at Amelia's heart, not for herself, but for Kai, whose luminous eyes now held galaxies of pain. The connection between them had accelerated his condition. The energy inside him grew more unstable with each moment they remained close, yet she couldn't bear the thought of separation. "It's burning," he gasped, purple light escaping his lips. "I can't control it much longer." The facility's rear doors burst open, revealing Agent Cooper flanked by soldiers in specialized containment suits. Their equipment hummed ominously, targeting Kai. "Dr. Chen, step away from the subject," Cooper commanded, his voice cold, clinical. "What you're harboring isn't human. The energy signature threatens national security. He's a refugee, not a threat." Amelia positioned herself protectively before Kai. "The energy inside him, it's a civilization's legacy, not a weapon." Cooper's expression remained unmoved. "Intentions are irrelevant. The power readings are off the charts. If it destabilizes, we're looking at devastation beyond nuclear capability." A sudden surge of energy from Kai knocked everyone backward. Equipment shorted out, windows shattered. The walls themselves seemed to breathe, pulsing with transferred energy. Reality wavered around him, space folding in impossible configurations. "It's happening," he cried, reaching for Amelia. "The translation has begun." Sarah appeared in the doorway, her face grim. "There's only one solution. The energy needs to return to its original dimension." "How?" "The original entry point, the observatory. The atmospheric conditions tonight mirror those of his arrival. We can create a reversal." Cooper regained his footing. "No one's going anywhere. This anomaly gets contained here." The standoff was interrupted by another energy pulse from Kai, this one strong enough to liquefy the concrete around him. His eyes, now pools of cosmic light, fixed on Amelia with devastating clarity. "I have to leave," he whispered, "or your world burns with me." Translation of light. They raced toward the observatory and Sarah's vehicle, Cooper's team in pursuit. Mountain roads blurred beneath them as Kai's condition deteriorated. The electronics malfunctioned from his proximity, trees bent away as if repelled by his presence. Reality itself seemed to warp around him. "The convergence peaks in 20 minutes, Sarah said, consulting atmospheric readings. "If we miss this window, we won't." Amelia's determination left no doubt in her hand. Her hand gripped Kai's, even as purple energy sparked between them. The observatory appeared through the mist, its dome gleaming in moonlight. Inside, Amelia worked feverishly, calibrating equipment, while Sarah barricaded doors against Cooper's approaching team. "It's configured," Amelia announced finally. "The electromagnetic field should create a dimensional corridor similar to your arrival point." Kai stood in the center of the observatory, his body now more energy than matter. Purple light streamed from his eyes, his fingertips, his very pores. The building groaned as reality bent around him. "Amelia," he called, his voice 1,000 whispers. "I'm losing myself." She ran to him, heedless of danger. Her scientific mind screamed warnings, but her heart recognized a truth beyond explanation. Their brief connection had altered something fundamental within her. "I'll find a way to follow," she promised, pressing her forehead to his. "No." Cosmic tears streamed down his face. "My dimension is dying. That's why I was sent. This energy, it's meant to seed new life elsewhere." Understanding dawned. "You were never meant to return." "I was meant to find you." His hand caressed her face, leaving trails of light. "Our resonance, it's the key. The energy responds to connection, to love." Cooper's team breached the outer doors, Sarah's warning shout barely registering as Amelia and Kai stood locked in their final moment. "Remember," he whispered, "energy never dies, it transforms." The air split open, a vertical tear in reality, revealing impossible colors. The energy within Kai surged outward, yet controlled now, directed by purpose rather than chaos. As their lips met one final time, the purple light enveloped them both. "It's not goodbye," his voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. "It's translation." His physical form dissolved into pure energy, spiraling into the dimensional rift. But as it closed, something remained,
a small purple light pulsing gently within Amelia herself. Cooper burst in, weapons raised, to find only Amelia standing alone in the observatory dome, the readings flat, the anomaly gone. "Where is it? The energy source?" Amelia smiled, a secret knowledge illuminating her from within. "Gone, where you can't follow." That night, as scientists swarmed the observatory, Amelia stood beneath the stars, feeling the gentle pulse of purple light within her chest, a whisper that transcended dimensions, a promise that some connections never truly end, that across infinite space, across impossible boundaries, love remains the most powerful energy in any universe. A single purple tear traced down her cheek as she whispered to the cosmos, "Translation complete."